Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you, my dear girls? Inshallah, today we are going to explain a new lesson about the Umayyad Caliphate. Of course, you are going to say, how can we start a new lesson about the Umayyad Caliphate? And the last thing that we studied was the end of it. Yeah. Historically, you studied the end of the Umayyad Caliphate in the Zab battle in the year 750 AD and the start of the Abbasid Caliphate. But till the end of this unit, we are going to study the achievements, the good things, the good events, and the great people who lived at that time. Let us start our lesson today. Lesson 6, Achievements of the Era. Of course, you know the word achievements mean the good things that were already done during that time. Let us start. The 7th and the 8th centuries were just before the Islamic civilization, but already Islamic scholars were reading and translating texts into Arabic from older civilizations and developing new ideas. Why? In all the fields of architecture, mathematics, science, and medicine, in order to make the best use of them, in order to learn how the people in the other civilizations, on the oral civilizations, that in order to complete. Of course, you know that civilizations and knowledge is cannot be built in one day. No, we should learn what happened before and then complete and continue the achievements. Okay, this is one of the great buildings of the during the Umayyad Caliphate. And this is one of the achievements in architecture. Now let us talk about achievements in architecture. Architecture. During this time, I will make the writing bigger. During this time, some of the biggest and the most splendid mosques were built. Old mosques were rebuilt and made bigger. These mosques showed that the Islam was an important religion. So most of the biggest and the most splendid mosques were built at that time. What were the main and the most remarkable mosques that were built or rebuilt during the time of the Umayyads? This is very important. Caliph Abdul Malik ordered the building of the Dome of the Rock and the rebuilding of the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Al-Quds. Oh my God, yes. So the Dome of the Rock Mosque and was built for the first time during the Umayyads, and the rebuilding of Al-Aqsa Mosque in Al-Quds was done at the Umayyads, especially Caliph Abdul Malik. The mosques were not built for public worship. They were not built for the people to pray in them, but they were only places for pilgrims to visit. A place to visit by the Muslims from all over the world, but not to pray inside them. These are the great achievements in architecture. The Dome of the Rock Mosque and Al-Aqsa Mosque. One of them was built for the first time and the other one was rebuilt. Let us talk about medicine and the achievements in medicine. At this time, doctors cauterized wounds to stop them getting infected. This involved burning a wound with something very hot in order to kill the germs and help the wound heal. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ recommended honey as a more gentle treatment for healing wounds. So in this paragraph, we started to know that how the physicians or the doctors started to know how to help wound healing using they used it to kill the germs and help the wound heal by cauterizing the wound, and also they followed the Prophet's recommendations when he said that honey is the best thing for the healing of wounds. Also, hospitals were built in the Caliphate to take care of the people who were ill. Some doctors performed surgery in these hospitals. People of all religions, not only Muslims, received treatment in these hospitals. People living in the Muslim Caliphate had better medical care than people living in Europe during this time. So, the medical treatment in the Muslim Caliphate was much better than the medical treatment in Europe. Even or later, leaders in Europe, the kings of Europe, were also inspired to build hospitals like those in the Caliphate. So, we can say that the hospitals were started for the first time in the Muslim Caliphate, and started to do the same. Muslim doctors became very famous for their books about medicine, and the first pharmacy opened in Baghdad in the year 754 AD. So the first pharmacy in the world was opened in Baghdad, not in Europe or in America. Can you see, this is a very famous picture or painting that shows one of the hospitals in Cordoba. That doctor or that famous physician was Az-Zahrawi. It is said he is said to be the father of the modern medicine. Actually, the Muslims were great physicians and they were leaders in the field of medicine. Okay, now let us go to the last part of the lesson, mathematics and science. Muslim scholars studied and translated old manuscripts about mathematics and science from India and ancient Greece. Then they developed the ideas in these old manuscripts. You understand? So we should know what the older people did and then develop more ideas and trying to add more for what they found. In the 8th century, a Muslim mathematician called Muhammad al-Fazari built the first new type of astrolabe. An astrolabe was used to show directions. It's like like the compass of today. By pointing it at the sun or the stars at night, people could work out directions. Sailors, the people who travel by sea, used astrolabes to find the way to sea, and Muslims used them to work out the direction of Mecca when they wanted to pray. Of course, we know that everywhere or anywhere we should pray in the direction of the Qibla or Kaaba. So in order to know the direction of the Qibla or Kaaba, at that time they used this tool in order to know the direction of Kaaba to pray in the direction of the Qibla. Astrolabes were also used to work out the times for Salat. Salat al-Dhuhr, Salat al-Maghrib, Salat al-Asr. The time of the Salat was worked out using these tools. These prayers take place at certain times according to the position of the sun in the sky. So in order for the Muslims to know the direction of the Qibla and the timing for the Salat, they used this tool. It was an invention at that time. It is equal to the compass of today. Or you can say that was the first compass of the world. It was made by a Muslim mathematician called Muhammad al-Fazari. Of course, you can imagine how much were the Muslims developed and remarkable in all these fields, in mathematics, science, medicine, in all fields of life. The Muslims were remarkable at that time because they were hardworking and they deserve it to be called the biggest and the most powerful empire on earth. Thanks for your listening and goodbye till we meet again.